Greetings to you, dear friends, from the Cornerstone Foundation, where we impact lives towards change, positive change. Dear friends, my name is Praveen Curl, and I'm a counselor, a life coach, motivational speaker, and now an author. So, I welcome you all to this brief presentation. Well, friends, we are just going to close on the current year and enter into a new year. And we all should be having a lot of dreams, aspirations, a lot of commitments that we want to make for the new year. But let's look, how do we go about having a vision for this coming new year? Are we prepared to take on the new year? So let's go ahead and have a look. Try to reflect on certain areas, try to see how we can put in the right things in the right place so that we reap a, a good harvest and we are aligned with our dreams, our goals that we would have had or we are having in our lives. So let's begin. So, friends, every new year gives opportunities. We are stepping into a new year, and we should definitely look at opportunities which this new year could throw up to us. A new year provides us with the following opportunities. First, it gives us the opportunity to redefine our priorities. What are our priorities? We'll have to take stock of our lives. Are we chasing urgent things or are we focusing on important things? Because if we are chasing urgent things, then definitely our life is in a chaos, is in a confusion, is in a mess. But if you are chasing the important things and doing it on time, then our life can be said to be in order. So let's look at that. How to redefine our priorities, put the right priorities in its right place. We need to redefine our purpose. Why are we here? Why did God send us onto this earth? Is our purpose aligned with God's will for our life? We need to check on that. What's our purpose? We need to redefine our life's vision. What is the vision? The bigger picture. You know, what am I looking at myself like in a few years from now, maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now? What is the big picture that I look at myself as? So we need to have a vision. Without a vision, it's no use going around doing things and not having anything, purpose or any kind of goal in life, and we just keep moving about. So we need to have a proper vision for our lives. Then we need to re-establish our worthwhile goals. Our goals we need to have so that we can reach our vision, what we are looking at ourselves as. So if we set goals for ourselves, we would be able to reach that particular vision that we are looking at. So those goals should be worthwhile, worth its while. Without wasting time on unnecessary things, our goals should be smart goals, goals that will be defined so that we have action taken as per the goals that we are defined. The new year also gives us an opportunity to bury the past and move into the future that we want to create. There's no use carrying all that baggage from over the years in our life. Drop all that baggage. We don't need that baggage anymore. We need to start afresh, move forward, leaving the past behind because nothing can be done at the past. Past is history. We have today, and today is what we need to work on so that we have a better future and achieve our vision. And we need to redeem our time because we have spent time, we have lost time, we have wasted time on so many things, wasteful things. So we need to redeem our time so that we are able to recover all those things which we messed up with or which we lost. So you see, a new year gives us so many of these wonderful opportunities to redefine our life as such. Friends, the Bible speaks, if you see, Ephesians chapter 5, verses 14 to 18. There are two main words here, if you can see in the heading, awake and arise. So this verses over here speak so well. St. Paul is telling us, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine upon you. What is awake? We have been sleeping all this while, spiritually asleep. The same kind of routines, that mundane work, the same habits, there's nothing new in life, the same friends, the same networking, everything is just so dull and boring. We need to awake. It's like we sleeping, but have our eyes opened up. Are we awake? Awake to a conscious, and then arise. Arise means to move out, to get up and move. So awake, wake up from your sleep, and arise, move. This is what St. Paul is saying. And when we do so, Christ will definitely shine upon us. He will show us all our lacking areas. He will put forward where we need to improve and where we need to drop certain things. So arise, O sleeper, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine upon you. Look carefully then how you walk. How you walk is how is our lifestyle? How are we walking? Not as unwise people, but as wise people. That's what St. Paul is telling us. We need to be wise. Wise is wisdom. So, friends, over here, there are certain things. How we gain wisdom. We need knowledge. We need experience. We need understanding. All these things helps a person develop wisdom. What is knowledge? Knowledge is nothing but information. Understanding is comprehension. But wisdom is the proper use of the knowledge that we have, the ability to apply the knowledge that we have is wisdom. And that's why St. Paul is telling us that we should walk being wise in all our steps. So, and he goes on to tell us, therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Being foolish is the opposite of wisdom. You can have all the knowledge, but if you do not know how to apply it, then we become foolish. So, and when we are wise, we will be able to understand what the will of the Lord is. And here is a bit of caution in the next verse. Do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. Do not get drunk with wine. And he says that is debauchery. What is debauchery? Debauchery is an excessive indulgence in alcohol, in drugs, or in sex. For that matter, you can also tell today that excessive indulgence in anything that keeps us away from our purpose, that keeps us away from the will of God. It could also include pornography, it could include gambling, it could include mobile phones. So all this is becoming part and parcel of our life, our lifestyle. So here St. Paul is cautioning us, he's telling us, awake, O sleeper, arise from the dead, spiritually being spiritually dead. Awake, arise from the dead, and Christ will shine upon you. This is what we need to keep in our mind and begin the new year with. Let us be awake. Let us waken up and take on the new year. Friends, we need to redeem all that time that we lost and make our plans for this new year. We need to make our plans. We need to take ownership. What is the meaning of redeem? Redeem means to repossess. Redeem means to take ownership of the time that we lost in so many ways through the years that passed by. And we should not now allow anything or anyone to control our time. There are people who will come and waste our time, or we tend to indulge in activities that is going to waste our time. All these time wasters is not going to do us anything. There are people whom we think are make a good fellowship with us, but there are so many of them who are parasites. They suck your time, and then you are going to be at loss. So just see how you're going to repossess your time, and also not to allow anything or anyone to control your time, because once your time is controlled by anything else or by somebody, that means your life is in that person's hands, or that your life is controlled by that particular thing. So don't allow that to happen. Repossess your life by controlling your time. This is the meaning of it. Proverbs 16 verse 1 says, the plans of the heart belong to man. So we need to have our plans. We need to put our plans in place. But the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So if we have the right plan based on the purpose for which we are here, then the answer comes from the Lord. He will show the way on how we need to execute those plans so that we realize our goals. Then this verse 3 of Proverbs 16 says, commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. Whatever you make your plan, you work towards it. Once you are working, commit the entire thing to our Lord. Give it to the Lord, submit it to the Lord, and then your plan will come to pass. It will be established. And the verse 9 of Proverbs 16 says, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Look at an example. A person can always have plans, and but not knowing how to reach there. For example, if you see Joseph of the Old Testament, he was thrown into a pit, but where did he ultimately land? He went on to become the prime minister of Egypt. So who led those steps? It was God's design for his life. So we may have the plans, but leave the rest into God's hands. Put that to work and leave the rest in his hands, for he will establish our steps so that we reach our goals. Friends, at the same time, we need to also be aware of what we give importance to. The Bible so beautifully says in Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 12 says, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything. So wonderful. All things are lawful for me means what? That all the things are permissible for me, but not everything is helpful for me. I need to be very clear about it. What is the right? What is the good? Not all good things are right. So there are a lot of good things, but are they the right things for our life? Are they the right things that will allow us and help us to achieve our plans? So that is what, and not to get dominated by anything or any person. For example, the internet is there. It's a good thing, but is it the right thing? Should I make the internet dominate my life? I need to question and then check on that. Similarly, in the letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 23. Again, over here, he says the same thing. All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. Same way, are the things that I am going to take, that the choices that I make, are they going to build up my life, or are they going to be time wasters? So I need to check on that. They may be helpful, but are they really going to build up my life? So this is a bit of caution that St. Paul is giving us, and we need to keep this in mind for the coming year. Friends, now to succeed in life, we need to understand, or rather answer, 5 pertinent questions. These questions we need to reflect on just as we are on the eve of the new year. Who am I? Who am I? I need to understand my identity. What am I doing here? Where did I come from? The second question. What is the source? Where did I come from? Do I say that I came from America, I came from London, or I came from Australia? That's not what is required. What we need to understand is, where did I originally come from? Where is that source? I think you'll be getting the hint what is meant over here. And the third question is, why am I here? What is the purpose that I have come here into this world? Is it that I'm born here and then be with the world and go back? when my time is up? Or am I here sent for a purpose? Am I here to do some work as per the Almighty's will? I need to understand what is the purpose, and is my purpose that I'm living for, is my life in alignment with God's purpose for my life? So I need to understand what's my purpose. How would I understand that? Whatever may be my talents, whatever may be the gifts that God has blessed me with, whatever may be my dream that I'm so passionate about, that could be a purpose. But not that I just go to do anything because everybody is doing it. So I need to understand what is my purpose. How am I here? What am I going to contribute? What am I giving back? This is all the questions we need to ask ourselves. What is the next question is what can I do? What is my potential? As I said, what are those gifts God has blessed me with? What are my talents? What is my potential? Am I working to my full potential, or is it only just 10% or 20% and the balance is unused? We need to dig deep within to understand what is my potential that I can contribute to building a very successful life. And finally, where am I going? What's my destiny? Where am I heading to? Am I going to reach a place in life where I say that I feel so unfulfilled? Friends, you can feel the fulfillment of life once you understand your purpose, and that's what is really going to help us succeed in our lives and say that yes, my life was worth living. So now, friends, I would just like to also give a few tips on let's create a system for the new year. Let's look at our life and say, let's put a system in place. I given here three suggestions. One is the 3 R's. These 3 R's has helped me a lot, as I also mentioned in the book, which I recently written and published. And that is the From Captivity to Freedom, Breaking Free from Addictions. In that, I have written my personal story, and I also written that what are those pillars, or what are those things that help me to make a bounce back in life. So the 3 R's, let's put that into practice. What are those 3 R's? It is putting a routine in place. Number two, looking at your relationships. Are they good relationships? Dropping out those are not required. And the third R is responsibilities. How am I being responsible and carrying out my duties in a right way? So let's put this system into place. The 3 R's should be a daily practice to understand that. The second suggestion is we need to set boundaries. We can't just keep our life open. You and me as an individual have our own space and time. That's our own individual boundary. And then, secondly, if we are married, the second boundary is me and my spouse. So that's a sacred space. We don't allow anybody else to enter in that, neither our parents nor our children, also for that matter. And then the third, fourth are all the rest of the other people. We need to have these boundaries. We need to have criteria for our life. Live with some principles. Otherwise, any Tom, Dick, and Harry would be intruding into our lives and causing distractions, causing disturbances, and we will lose focus on what we are setting out with our goals in the new year. The third suggestion is to have the practice of the wheel of life. What is the wheel of life? The wheel of life comprises of 6 areas, 6 major areas of life. We need to look at these 6 areas and perform well in all these 6 areas. The 6 areas are: number one, family; two, career; three, our finances; four, our health; five, society; and six, spirituality. So these are the major 6 areas that any individual will have in his life. And we need to have a proper balance in all these 6 areas so that we are on the right path, and we stay away from all those unwanted disturbances or noise or any kind of anxiousness or any kind of fears. So these are the three suggestions that I would like to give you to implement in the coming year, and this would definitely help you so that you are on your way towards your vision by achieving preset goals that will take you to your vision. So have a wonderful year and make a very meaningful life so that finally you can always say that yes, I have aligned myself with God's purpose for my life. Thank you and God bless you.